Yeah, we are getting there. So it is 10 o'clock and we want to be in time. So welcome everyone. So let's get going with our slideshow here. Dixie.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So today's workshop is, are you going to go with the slides here?
Yeah.
Yes. So first, a little bit about ourselves here today. We're going to talk about Facebook. We looked at that last week, and we're going to talk about images today. And today you are meeting Candice for the first time. Oh, not Candice. Oh, that was one of the participants, Dixie. So she's going to hold this presentation. We here at Easy Marketing, we do websites, we do social media, and we work a lot with constant contact. So that's about us. And if you are hanging on to the end of this meeting, we will tell you that about a free drawing for a 20-minute consultation, and we will talk more about it at the end.
Thank you, Katrine. So during our last workshop, we talked about the power of social media and how you can optimize it to grow your business. Every day, as you know, millions of users are logging on to connect with friends and families and businesses like yours that they care about. But we need to remember that it is a competition. Every post that you share is going head to head, competing with other content that's out there for attention. So today, we're going to give you just our top tips to make your social media more engaging and to keep those users from scrolling on by. So they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and if you have the right picture, I'd say that's definitely true. Today, people have short attention spans, and if you have children, you can testify to this. It's shorter than 9 seconds. That's about the same as a goldfish. So you got to grab their attention quick or they're gone. But the good news is that a large part of the human brain is focused on visual processing, and this allows us to recognize familiar objects in 100 milliseconds. So as a result, we are primed for engagement. Images are an almost irresistible draw on social media, and posts that have images are 10 times more likely to get engagement. So we have only 20 minutes, so I want to cover the key types of things. So let's talk about this Facebook post, for example. So 3 days from now, 65% of consumers will remember what they saw, but only 10% will remember what they read or heard. That incredible jump in retention shows how important images are when you're trying to build a brand and communicate your marketing message. So let's start with your profile image. I'm also going to cover cover photos and images that accompany your post.
Yeah, and today we are talking about, I'm sorry, so we're talking about, last time we talked about Facebook. So now we're going to talk, how do we look good on Facebook and how do they see that you are you?
Absolutely, you want to optimize it. So when you start with your profile image, you don't feel the need to change this like you would on your personal page. Personal page, every time you get a great haircut, sure, do a new profile pic. But on your business page or your organization page, you want to stick with something, and your business logo is ideal. But it's critical to ensure that it's high resolution, that it's sized appropriately with a 1-to-1 proportion, so square, and also that it looks good when cropped in a circle, as that's how it's going to appear on Facebook. So as an example here, I have the Easy Marketing logo. On the left is our standard logo, which is rectangular. So that's great for business cards and letterhead and even web banners. But just by rearranging the elements, as you see on the right, we can make it fit better in a round shape. It will be larger, it looks more professional, and it will be more recognizable on Facebook. And I'm going to demonstrate live how to do that in just a few minutes. Moving on to the cover photo, since you already have your logo as your profile image, your cover photo doesn't also need to be your logo. Instead, I encourage you to use a beautiful lifestyle image that really speaks to you, who you are as a brand. Because this image will appear so large, it's essential that it's high resolution and sized appropriately. I've listed the current dimensions here, but Facebook does change these somewhat regularly, so you have to stay on top of that. A good rule of thumb is to change your profile, your cover photo quarterly or seasonally, whatever makes sense for your industry, but I'd say at least 4 times a year. And if you have a video about your business, that's even better. And you'll see here, this is the cover video that we use for easy marketing. It's a great way to have a call to action. You just want to make sure that that video is horizontal and, again, of good quality. So here's just a few examples that show a variety of styles that you might use. Some just have a high quality picture, some add a tagline. They're all simple, but very eye-catching and memorable. So once you get those 2 things settled, the images you'll work with most are those that accompany your post. And again, I can't stress enough that quality matters. We are not looking for selfies here. You want to use images to which you have the rights. So these are photos that you've either taken yourself, that you've hired someone to take, or that you have access to through some kind of user agreement. You want to make sure that they are sized correctly. This makes sure that when you post them, that they don't get cropped, that they aren't stretched out, and they don't get pixelated. And you can, there's different sizes for the mobile and for like your laptop, for example. You also want them to look really cohesive. So if you're laying text or graphics or something on top of your images, you want to keep those fonts and colors consistent, and that helps build your brand identity. So here's a few examples. The one on the right is just a great quality photo. You see the logo there on the item that they're trying to sell. The one on the left is a beautiful photo and just has their logo at the top and a little bit of text overlaid at the bottom. And the one at the bottom, this was about human trafficking. So they probably decided not to use a photo for obvious reasons, but they have made a graphic element out of the text. And that is another great option. So here's a couple different examples. And finally, you might be thinking at this point, whew, well, that's all and good, but I have a small business or a nonprofit, and we don't have the time and resources to devote to full-time social media work. And we get that. And that's where a graphic design platform like Canva that I'm going to show you today is a great tool to help you create visual content. They have a free version, which is what I'm going to show you, that includes templates and design inspiration, and it'll make sure that your content is sized correctly for the platform and will also help you organize your content. So with that, I'm going to jump right in to a little live demo. Give me a second. All right, so this is the free version of Canva. I literally just put in my email yesterday and signed up for this. You don't need to give a credit card. It's not one of these limited time trials. It is free. They also do have a premium option, but free is great to get you going and for what you might need. So the first thing you might want to do is take a look at your logo. And if you scroll down, you'll see different types of templates they have: Instagram posts, Facebook posts, etc.
Dixie,
yes.
may I just ask, are you going to use the column on the right, or can we hide that when you work?
Yes. Oops. And
No, you should only that instead.
I have all these other things on my screen. How's that? Better?
Okay, yes,
Okay.
much better. Thank you.
So in the middle of the page here, you see logos. And if I click see all on the right, they're going to give you all these different templates and inspiration for logos. If I click on the left, I can just pull up a blank one, and you'll see that it's going to be the 1-to-1 ratio that I was talking about, the square. That's what you need for Facebook. So on the left side, where you can upload. So you could upload your camera ready logo that you already have. This is the rectangular one I was talking about. That's not ideal for Facebook. This is the one that's more square. And then you would just kind of drag the corners, get that bigger, and then you would have a logo perfect and ready for Facebook. But if yours isn't in that format, let me show you what you can do. So I'm going to go back to the home page, and I'm going to go back to that logo section. and see all. All right, so here again is a bunch of inspiration, if you will, things to get you started with your logo.
Yeah, and all those examples are, it's not like you're going to use one of those, it's more the background that is already there, and then you pull in your logo, and of course you don't use the logos that are in the example, you just exchange that, yeah.
Right. So I'm using this one just to kind of illustrate something to you. So if this were your logo, and I'm going to put a circle around it so we can see how it would look on Facebook. It's not terrible, but it's not ideal because this logo is rectangular. So you have all this white space at the top, all this white space at the bottom. So your logo is going to end up being very small and not very memorable. So you could take it and using Canva, we could separate the two parts of it. Move this part down, kind of center it, and then move this part up directly above it. And then I'm going to make the whole thing a little bigger. And you do not have to be a graphic designer to do this. This is something anybody could learn how to do. It's made for everyone. So just by moving some of the elements, do you see now how it fits really nicely in a circle? And this is going to be much more visual and have a bigger impact on Facebook.
And the circle is not going to stay there. That is just to make sure that you see everything in the circle that the cutout kind of that Facebook is creating.
Yeah, this was just for our illustrative purposes so we could see how it would look. But we got rid of that when we saved it. So now let's talk about cover photos. So again, I'm going to go back to the home page. And those cover photos are lifestyle images that we want to change at least once a quarter. And in our presentation earlier, we talked about sizes, and that's one thing that's hard to keep track of. If you use a program like this, they're going to help make sure that all the images that you used are appropriately. So I'm going down to areas that says Facebook covers. I'm going to click See All. And they just have a bunch of different design templates and inspiration. I'm going to pick this one on the right. And let's pretend that you are a local bike shop owner. If you are, congratulations, because everyone's buying bikes right now because of COVID. But you could go in here on the photos area and just type in bike, and you're going to find some free resources that you can use. So all these photos over here we can use. The ones right here that have a little crown, those are only available with the premium version, but all the rest you could use. And I literally just drag it in. Oops. Try again, drag it in. And now this is our new cover photo. Because the text is white, I can't see it very well, so I could quickly change the color on that. I could change the font, I could change what it says. You might want to add a tagline like adventure awaits, something along that line. But this could be your new cover photo. So it's that easy and quick to use these resources and change them.
And the cool thing here, remember, she picked the one that says Facebook cover photo. And the reason she picked that one is, and not the Instagram post, for example, that is exactly the size that Facebook says that you need to do it. So you don't need to figure out how to crop those to the 813 by, I don't know, 300 something pixel. It is perfect.
You got it. That is one of the biggest advantages is they already know the correct sizes and you don't have to do all that graphic design work. So finally, we're looking for a photo to accompany our Facebook post. Lots of choices here, but I'm this one. So let's pretend now that we are a local florist shop and we have a big spring sale coming up. So I could pick this template basically just for its design. I'm going to go over and click on photos, type in flowers, and it'll give me all kinds of flowers that I can pick from. And again, I'm just gonna drag and drop these into my template and make myself a beautiful graphic that can go along with my Facebook post about my sale. So you get the idea. And then you could just click here and you could say spring sale, 50% off, or something along that line. And if it doesn't fit, No problem. Just drag it and resize it. And we can also change the text color. And it will often give you recommendations pulling from the colors that are in your photo. So that's just a little quick overview of how you can use a resource like Canva that is free to get going to make your graphics better. And if it's still really overwhelming and you're like, I do not have the time to do that, no problem. Give us a call and we'll be glad to help get you set up and started on this.
Yeah. Will you show how when they created this, how they download it? How do they get this to their computer?
Yep, great. Okay, so right up here at the top, you have this little arrow button. You can publish directly to Facebook, but I would caution you not to do that because you're not going to get the full tools out of it. So you can just download. For something small like a logo, it's okay to use a JPEG, but a PNG is a nice high quality image that you could use it for a variety of things. So you just click that and click the download button here, and now you have it to save forever. All right. So with that, I am going to turn it back over to you, Katrine.
Yeah, and we do have a couple of questions. So Candice, yes, we are sorry that her sound is cutting out. Candice just started this week, and this is the first time we got started. So we need to figure out, maybe it was because we were running both GoToWebinar and Canva at the same time, or it could be something with her microphone that we haven't heard before until today. So we're going to check that, but hopefully you heard most of what she said. There is going to be a recording you can go back to. I also have a couple of other questions. How do you make the photos appear well, both in web and mobile medium? So I don't know this on top of my head. I'm sure there are some numbers, and we could pull that into the follow-up email that comes today. But you can also very quickly learn that you put something up, even the logo, if you're not sure and can't figure out to do that circle, just pull it in and see what it looks like. And if it's outside the circle, you just make it smaller in the square. And the same thing with that. But it usually cuts on the sides when it comes to social media.
Exactly.
And we also had another question from Candice that is working with the deaf and hard of hearing. Do you suggest doing an image description for people who are visually impaired and put it directly in the post? Yeah, that is a good idea. I don't know that Facebook, like a website, has the option that you can click and hear the description of a photo, but of course, if the photo has something that needs to be described and that is your audience, that's a good idea.
And for videos, you can turn on the auto captions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so go next slide. So so we put up the same offer we had last week. Last week we showed, or 2 weeks ago, we showed how to set up Facebook as a business page, how to set it up with admin and everything. So we do have packages where we set all of this up, and we can also, of course, create special setup with what Dixie talked about today, and do templates for your posts and everything. So yes. And everyone in here today, and we have a big group. We have a high percentage of everyone signing up that attended today. So I'm going to all pull you into small strips of names, and I'm going to make a drawing later today. We're going to put it on a video. So if you just open up the follow-up email, you can see who won. I had a really nice conversation with the winner from last week. She came from New Mexico. It was a delight to talk to her. And next week, or next time in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about constant contact and how to, like in 15 minutes, you are going to be able to create a beautiful email and send it out. So, and even though it takes you 15 minutes to create one of those, we're going to teach you that step by step during 2 webinars. So the first one is February 24th, and the next one is March the 3rd. So please remember to check the follow-up email and sign up for those 2 sessions. Again, thank you everyone that attended today. And if you have any questions, need anything, you have all our information in the follow-up email. And we did this in 21 minutes. So I think that's really great.
Have a great day, guys.
Yes, thank you. Bye now.